Okay, let's start with your first interview.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see if you take it till the end. Huh?
Okay, so yeah, let's start.
We try to approach things in a slightly different way. I mean, I think I worked, for instance, for a long time in advertising already, and advertising in general is very, I don't think that a lot of people really like advertising. I mean, myself, I quite don't like advertising, so for me it's also a motivation to try to do things differently and to try to approach it in a different way. And I mean, if that always works, I don't know, but at least we try to be different in that way. I think in general, a lot of advertising, maybe 95% is really boring here. But that, I think everybody agrees with me. I mean, that has nothing to do with creativity. I mean, sometimes in advertising you see that there are so many parties involved in it that it really ends up as a compromise, and that it's really like somebody telling somebody how to do something. I think that is also not really creativity. It's often not the mistake of the people really making it, because there are quite a lot of creative people in advertising agencies, but often they are kind of limited to use their creativity, and often they are also maybe not communicating their ideas well enough internally and or to a client. I think that sometimes I mean, somebody that sits at the other side of the table and that you work for as a client, you also need to try to convince that person in a good way with your ideas, and let him or her understand why you came up with these ideas. Yeah, also because there's always like a barrier of formality and meeting, and there's always a nervous thing going on, and it's quite good to make somebody comfortable at the other side of the table, and then it's maybe a better ground to sell an idea. I need to constantly also training, I need to train myself to look at things on the street, to see a lot of films, to go to a lot of art shows, to look at magazines and books, and especially embrace the things that you like. And so that is never stopping. So when you try to make new things, you need to fuel yourself with the things you like, and maybe you take some little things from there and then make your own thing. But you need to be constantly surround yourself with things you like. Of course, in some way I like advertising, but I'm telling people that I don't like advertising because there's a lot around me and a lot that you see that is quite horrible. And so in that way I convince myself to make things different. I mean, I think creativity is, the definition of it is maybe to be different. And I mean, I am not working in this job to do things like they have been done before. So maybe it's good to try to change things sometimes, and if they call that a rebel, then that's fine. But for me it's more important that I stay motivated. I mean, when I don't like my job anymore, or when I get frustrated, or when I have irritations for a long time, then I don't do it anymore. I really need to love my job that I do to also do it every day. I mean, the most important reason why I decided to write about this topic is that creative people, they live now in an age where everything is very much going towards perfection. I mean, the telephones on our, the cameras on our telephones, they are almost perfect. They photograph in the darkest dark and in the lightest light, and they make no mistakes, or computers make no mistakes, or navigation systems not. So it's this kind of perfection that there is in all the executional things and all the programs and all the computers we have. That is not a very good starting point for creative people, for creativity, because we are almost at a tipping point of perfection. Like, I mean, the world is not perfect, far from perfect, but the tools that creative people use, those are quite perfect at the moment. And creative people need to break that. They need to push that away, and they need to find their own rules of doing things and not following every program, if you know what I mean. And also another thing is that's also in the book, that I think that a lot of young people also nowadays, and it's not their fault, but there are so many beautiful and finished things around us that we can see at any moment online, and everybody has access to everything and to all the finished things, is that people are very much in the front garden of their house, and they stay in the front garden, like metaphorically. So the front garden is like a beautiful place where people show their finished products and they show their best behavior. While in the back garden of the house, there it's a mess, you know, like there's a gate, there's like a fence around it, nobody sees you, you can walk around naked there, you can fuck up things and do things wrong. And when you dare come up with a good idea, then you can bring it to through the house to the front garden, but only staying in the front garden is not very good. That's not a very good place to be, only there. And that's why I encourage to go back to feel insecure, to fuck up things, to feel more vulnerable, or to have use your intuition. And those are things that are often also not promoted in society. Yeah? Like if you do business or you're a designer, you should not be vulnerable, or you should be very confident, and you should make no mistakes. But that is something, I mean, creative people need to fuck up and make mistakes. Yeah, I think maybe one very good advice is to when people start their own work and when they start their own business, it's very important that you say no often, more often than you want. I mean, it's a bit strange because, of course, when you start, you like to say yes to a job that comes, but if that job is something that you don't really like, but you only do it for the money, then you should say no. Because I think it's very important, the work that you make in the first year or in the first 2 years, that is very important for your next, for the whole following of your career. Because you build the base of the style of your work. And when you do a lot of shitty jobs in between, and you don't have a clear vision on what you like, and what you stand for, then it's going to be very blurry what you do. While if you, in the first year or in the first 2 years, if all the jobs that you do are, maybe they're not done for a lot of money, or maybe you do them for free, or but you have to suffer maybe a bit financially, but it's very good to be very precise on that, and very strong on. So sometimes it's against almost your intuition. It's good to say no to something when you feel that it's not really something perfect for you to work on. Yeah, like there's always something that you find stereotypical or that you don't like to oppose against. So that is something that is quite a good rule of doing. And I think also one of the main rules is that maybe you have to make things that are kind of meaningful and not really not true, or too stereotypical, or yeah, in that way we try to make it slightly different.
So, good luck.
Okay, thanks very
Thank
much.
you.
I think you graduated from your first interview.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
You did it very well.
Thank you. It's my first time and your first time in Poland.
Yeah. Thanks.